The Bible in a year, day one. We're starting in Esther. Why Esther? Well, there's a lot of Korean Christian girls named Esther in my life, and I kind of want to figure out why they all end up ruining my life. When I was reading this, I realized it's actually kind of crazy that this is a story about Esther when it actually doesn't even start with Esther. It starts with a different woman named Queen Vashti. It's kind of a weird story at the beginning because she gets called into her husband's chambers, I think, and she just says no. I kind of want to know why she said no. The Bible really isn't clear. But it's kind of crazy when the king, after all of this, is like, yo, what should I do? And like one of his advisors, his response, all women will give honor to their husbands, high and low alike. And so, like, the assumption here is that this guy was basically like, we gotta make Queen Vashti as an example of what not to do, or else women will take power from us. Man, this guy's making men look real insecure. But then you finally get to Esther, and it's like kind of cool that God has uniquely put her into a position where she could be of use. Like in chapter 2, it says that she's an orphan. Her mother and father are not there, and she's taken care of by a relative named Mordecai. And Mordecai is an Israelite, but he's been taken out of Israel and he's been in exile. And it's because of this exile that Esther's also in this position to be used by God. Like everything else that happens in this book is because Mordecai was exiled. Like the situation that happens in chapter 3 or 4 where this guy named Haman basically says we need to get rid of all of these Jewish people, which is also crazy because his entire hatred for these Jewish people comes off of him just hating Mordecai, which means he hates an entire race based off of his experience with one person. But Esther's in this situation where she can try to do something to change this result. And again, it's only because Mordecai is in exile. Maybe Mordecai was exiled so that he could take care of Esther and encourage her, and so that the rest of the story could unfold. But the story gets really real at the end of chapter 4, and these are probably my favorite words in the entire story of Esther. Esther says, "If I perish, I perish." The assumption here is then that Esther doesn't know what's gonna happen. Everything she does, it's not based off of some divine revelation that God has given her, but she just has to have faith, and her faith is that not even that God will, solve all of this through her, but her faith is that even in her death, that God will still be good. I think those are some of the most reassuring words in the Bible. Like, I've asked God some important stuff in my life, like, God, should I take this job or this other one? But I've also asked him stupid stuff, like, should I really talk to another girl named Esther who happens to be Christian and Korean? The answer's probably no to that, but still, I haven't really gotten like the voice of God telling me what I should do for any of these things. The hope that Esther has is the hope I think I should have. I'm gonna make a decision based off of what I know and what I feel like God is telling me to do, and maybe it's the wrong decision, but my hope and my faith is that God will still be faithful and good through it all.